welcome back. Let's do question 822. The graph of y, which is the derivative of f of x, is equal to mx squared plus nx plus k. We managed to find the value of m. Said m is -3, n is 2, and then k is 1. The graph passes the points p, q, and r. It is further given that f of x is equal to -x cubed plus x squared plus x plus 2. Draw the graph of f. Indicate on your graph the coordinates of the turning points and the intercepts with the axis. Right. In the previous question, we discussed about the fact that the x coordinates of the x-intercepts of the derivative graph are actually the x coordinates of the turning points of the original graph. So meaning that the turning point of this graph should be here where x is -1/3, and also there where x is what? Is 1. Let me just do that here. So the turning points will be here where x is what? -1/3, and also where x is what? Where x is equal to 1. And then in the previous question in 8.21, we managed to find that the coordinates of one of the turning points, we have -1/3 and 49/27. Let's write these as decimals so that we can plot them nicely. So this will be turning point will be -0.33 and then 1.81. Okay, and then we can plot this. Let's say this point here, right? That is the turning point. Oh, the other thing that we need to take note of is the shape of the graph. Check the value of a here is negative. So if it is negative, we know that the graph is going to be shaped like this. Let me just draw it. If it's negative, the graph will be shaped like this. Right? How do you see? The last part of the graph is always pointing downwards if a is less than 0. If a is negative, this will be pointing downwards like this. If a is positive, the graph will be shaped like this, where this part is pointing upwards like this. So this is the shape of the graph. It's going to be shaped like that. Right? So we have this turning point, which is -1/3 and then 49/27. Then the other turning point, we said it will be at the point where x is 1 and y is 3. 1 and 3 should be somewhere there. Just roughly, we have a point there, 1 and 3. Okay, so these are the coordinates of the turning points. So what else do we need? We need the y-intercept. So the y-intercept, remember, where there's x, we put 0. So if you put 0 here, 0 there, 0 there, we can get that f of 0 is equal to 2, meaning that the y-intercept is at 0, 2. This is 1.81, so it means 2 should be somewhere here, maybe. All right, so you can have 0, 2 there, the coordinates of the y-intercept. Right, we're left with the x-intercept now. So the x-intercept, remember x-intercept, where there's y, we put 0. So f of x is equal to 0. So 0 is equal to -x cubed plus x squared minus x plus 2. So we need to solve this cubic equation. So how do we do that? We can use long division and the other methods called the synthetic method. But now let's start with the long division. So what you do, you substitute the values. You can start with -1. Where there's x, put -1 and see if you're going to get 0. You try maybe +1 and check. You try -2. You try +2 like that. But if you check, for example, f of 2, if you check 2, if you put 2 where there's x, you say this is negative 2 cubed plus 2 squared. This is plus, then plus 2 plus 2. We will get what? This is like negative 8, and then plus 4 plus 2 plus 6, which is 0. So f of 2 is equal to 0, meaning that therefore x minus 2 is a factor, is one of the factors. So now we can use long division to get the other factor, which is going to be quadratic. So we can use long division. I need space here, so let me erase this. Right, let's do long division here. So it's going to be x minus 2 being the divisor. We're dividing negative x cubed plus x squared plus x plus 2. Right, we say x into negative x cubed, that is negative x squared. Then negative x squared times x, that is negative x cubed. Negative x squared times negative 2, that is positive 2x squared. Right, then we subtract. We are subtracting this. Then it becomes negative x cubed minus negative x cubed, which is negative x cubed plus x cubed, which is 0. Then x squared minus 2x squared, that is negative x squared. Then we drop x, then becomes plus x. Then x into negative x squared, that is negative x. Negative x times x, that is negative x squared. And then negative x times negative 2, that is positive 2x. Then we're subtracting this, so it becomes negative x squared minus negative x squared, that is like negative x squared plus x squared, which is 0. Then we have x minus 2x, which is negative x. Then you drop 2, so it's going to be plus 2. Then you say x into negative x, that is negative 1. Then negative 1 times x, that is negative x. Then negative 1 times negative 2, that is positive 2. Then if you subtract this, you are going to get 0, 0. So it means that we have the factors which are x minus 2, then negative x squared minus x minus 1, then is equal to 0. Okay, so now it's either x minus 2 is equal to 0, or negative x squared minus x minus 1 is equal to 0. Then from this we won't get any solution, no solution here. And then therefore x is equal to 2. So it means the x-intercept is at 2. Let's put it here, 2, 0. Right, before we sketch our graph, let me show you the other easy method. What you do is very easy. So the value that gave us 0 here is 2. So you draw your line like this, then draw the line like this, and then you put your 2 there. Then you put the coefficients of these terms. The coefficient of x cubed is negative 1. The coefficient of x squared is positive 1. The coefficient of x is positive 1. And then we have 2 there. So you have that. And then you draw another line like this. The first thing you do, you drop this number, negative 1, drop it. So it's going to be negative 1 here. And then you say negative 1 times 2. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. You write it here. And then you just add this. It's positive 1 plus negative 2, which is positive 1 minus 2, which is negative 1. And then say negative 1 times 2, this 2. Negative 1 times 2, this negative 1 times 2, you get negative 2, you write it here. Then positive 1 plus negative 2, that's negative 1. Then again, this negative 1 times 2, we get what? We get negative 2. Then 2 plus negative 2 is 0. So we remain with 0. Every time we must get 0. So now this is the coefficient of x squared, this is the coefficient of x, and then this is your constant. This is your constant. So we have the other factor that we got from this 2 here, which is x minus 2. And then here we have the coefficient of x squared, which is negative x squared, negative 1x squared. Then the coefficient of x is going to be negative x. And then the constant, which is negative 1. You see that we have factorized. This one is faster, but we are getting the same answer. Right, so the x-coordinate of the x-intercept is 2. So now we can sketch our graph. So we said our graph is shaped like this. So it means it could be like this. This is the turning point, doesn't come out nicely, but it should be something like this. Yes, okay. So that is our cubic graph. It's not drawn to scale, so it may not be perfect. Okay, so this is the cubic graph. You have your shape, you have your turning point and turning point, we have your x-intercept, you have your y-intercept, you have your 5 marks.